The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Prepare yourselves as Amber and Scott dive into one battle after another. A film where revolution meets father-daughter drama and the bullets don't stop flying. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you know what time it is?
Time doesn't exist. It's just a construct we create.
I'm sorry. Call us back when you have the right answer.
Oh, yeah.
Time doesn't exist, but it controls us anyway.
It controls us anyway. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I thought Sensei had said 8:15 when.
Well, yeah, because he heard what time
Yeah,
is it, and
yeah.
he just actually said.
Yeah.
And but yeah, you need to memorize your rebellion manual better.
Yeah, if you're in hiding and there are secret phrases and words that you need to pull out a year later or 15 or 16 years later that get you extracted and get you moved to safety, it's good to commit those to memory. And if you are turning into a bit of an alcohol pothead, maybe write them down somewhere so you remember them. I
do like how the supervisor came on and was like, I have a question for you. He was like, no. What kind of pussy do I like? Okay, so yeah, like if it's him, he'll know it. And
yeah.
Apparently he didn't forget that one.
When you have friendships, it certainly pans out when you can't recall the password.
Yes.
So, folks, thank you for joining Cinema IRL. This episode, we are talking about one battle after another. Washed-up revolutionary Bob exists in a state of stone paranoia, surviving off-grid with his spirited, self-reliant daughter, Willa. When his evil nemesis resurfaces after 16 years and she goes missing, the former radical scrambles to find her father and daughter both battling the consequences of his past. That is a very abbreviated version for nearly a 3-hour Leonardo DiCaprio film.
A 3-hour film.
Yes, a Leo 3-hour film. So yeah, this film felt like it was a TV series, and we binged all 10 episodes. It's not that it felt longer; it dragged. It's just there were so many. It felt like that there was micro movies within the movie.
I'll say this: it did not feel like nearly 3 hours to me. I
wasn't antsy or anything like that. Yeah. It starts off with Bob, who had a different name at the time. Bob and Willa were their aliases once they had to go in hiding later in the film. But he was kind of known as Rocket Man because he was the explosive guy who helped Willa's mom, who was known by Perfidia Beverly Hills, as they kind of, went on a binge of vigilante justice, robbing banks to fund getting weapons to free people from immigration detention centers and fight against the wrongs that they perceived in society. And ultimately, Perfidia Beverly Hills was caught, and in a really shocking turn of events, she turned in everybody in exchange for her own freedom in witness protection. Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, yeah. I don't think she turned in everyone, but she turned in some people for sure.
I mean, I think she turned in everybody, and some people got away and some people got caught or killed. But she definitely, all the people that she had been hanging out with, we saw them systematically either apprehended or executed in some way.
Yeah, though I do have a what would you do already.
Okay, go for it.
If you needed to choose a name, would you go with Perfidia Beverly Hills, or would you go with Jungle Pussy?
Yeah, those are some memorable names, aren't they?
Though, let me tell you, the way she robbed that bank, that was a strong, confident woman.
She was.
You see my face? I'm not hiding it.
She lived up to the name.
Yeah, no, she was.
She didn't.
Like, it was a very brief time in the movie with that character, but I love that character.
Yeah, no, she was a very strong, capable woman. So, Perfidia Beverly Hills turns in folks, and her partner, who later has to assume the identity of Bob, and her daughter, Charlene, it has to take the name of Willa, and they have to run because they assume that they're going to be rounded up like all the other people who were part of this vigilante group.
Which is probably a good thing to run.
Yeah. So we can start right there with another what would you do? What would you do if you were caught and, hey, we can throw you in the slammer, or you can turn in all of your associates and we'll let you go into witness protection.
Ooh, this one's hard.
And keep in mind, it's not like you were robbing banks or anything. You were all about justice and freedom, and the people you were hanging out with, you were all freedom fighters fighting for the better good in society and a better world.
I honestly don't know. It really would be a question of, like, had this been discussed amongst people before? How close am I to these people? I can't say I would or wouldn't, because there's a lot of the X factor. Because, like, if I'm doing this, if I'm there for the cause, but I don't really give a crap about the people.
I mean, she came from a family of people who were freedom fighters and stood up to injustice. So, I mean, that was part of her DNA. And she very much assumed a leadership role in this group of people that freed other people. And it seems really out of alignment that if you are about freedom, that you would basically rob your friends of their freedom by turning them in.
Yeah, it depends, again, how good of friends they are and how many. Like, do you want 1 or 2 names, or do you want like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 names? I mean, if you want a whole bunch of names, probably screw you. Like, even if I'm not great friends with them, I'm just not going to turn in a whole bunch of people. But if it's like 1 or 2 people that I'm like,
I think this kind of goes back to some other films we've had, is your ethics are very different than my ethics.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, she was easily faced with life in prison. And
witness protection is its own life in prison in a lot of ways. You're always looking over your shoulder. You're not free to be you. You have to live this life within this construct that other people don't even know about. It's its own form of prison,
yeah,
I think.
and she didn't like that either, so she went to Mexico.
Yeah, she bailed on that too.
So, I mean, like, I'd like to think that I would take the righteous high road and not say anything.
I don't think that's you, though.
But
you have a strong sense of self-preservation.
I do, but I mean, like if they were wanting you, I'm not going to say a damn thing.
Oh, thank you.
Other people, maybe. I don't know.
Thanks for not throwing me in prison.
Yeah, you're welcome. Don't say I never did nothing for you.
Okay. So at this point, we also, at the same time this is happening, one of the liberations they did at an immigration detention center, they run across one of the higher-ups in the military named Lockjaw. And I thought initially that was a joke, but it turns out his name was Lockjaw. And she kind of does this power play with him. And Perfidia Beverly Hills is a strong black woman. And she takes Lockjaw, who is an older, very conservative military leader.
Who apparently likes him black.
And basically says, you need to jerk off in front of me and make it hard. And took this very dominant position with him. And it turns out he liked it, so he got a crush on her.
Yeah, that happened. See, that happens sometimes. Yeah. There are some guys who just, okay, dominate me. Sure. Well, though honestly, that's actually not uncommon for guys in power, because when you're somebody who's like truly in power and you have so many people who are having to report to you and in some ways bend the knee to you, like you have that, you want something different, just like everyone in life does. Like for once you want to be the one who, like in a safe environment, of course, but who, okay, someone will stand up to me.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a role play type fashion, though I don't think it was role play there.
Yeah, no. She was definitely trying to dominate him, and it turned out he kind of liked it. So he wound up following her, even though he is on the law enforcement side of things, and she is obviously doing a bunch of illegal stuff. He kind of starts tracking her and following her, and even follows her to a point where she's planning a bomb at a courthouse. And he pretty much says, well, yeah, I'll let you do that, but you got to meet me, at this hotel. And where she proceeds, I think, to somehow shove something up somewhere where he seemed to like it. And there must have been either more than what we saw or whatnot, because
at some point tab A went into slot B.
Yeah, because what we learn later in the film, again, spoilers, folks, is that the daughter that Perfidia and Bob share, turns out it's actually Lockjaw's and not Bob's at all, even though Bob had to go on the run with Willa, who was the baby at the time, and protected her and raised her for the last 15, 16 years. It turns out that, that little girl was a result of Perfidia and General Lockjaw?
I think he was Colonel at that point.
Colonel Lockjaw?
He was captain when they first encountered. At that point, he was Colonel. I did like that the movie ended without Bob knowing this.
Yeah. So what would and he didn't know any of that anyway. Like, he had no idea that she had been stepping out on him or been unfaithful to him. And when she was pregnant, she actually she didn't act pregnant. She still was like shooting off guns and going on crimes and stuff like that. But when she had the baby, she actually got jealous that Bob loved her and loved being a dad and taking care of her, and kind of stepped back from some of that I'm a rebel badass stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
so what would you do if
she felt like the other woman at that point?
Yeah.
To her daughter.
Yeah. I mean, what would you do in a case like that where a baby arrives? And I know you have to be hypothetical with this since you can't pull from personal experience here. But what would you do if a new child starts changing how you feel about your romantic relationship?
It's
on either side.
I mean, it's my understanding that, kids do tend to have this type of an effect. It's not so much that you devalue the other person, but this new person who is literally that came from you is just moves to a higher level. And yeah, I'm not a parent. I can't say I know for sure. But I do believe that it is important to always keep a good, strong bond with your partner. So you have to find ways to still prioritize them.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is children are always watching. So whatever your relationship is with the other adult in your life, kids see and they know and they pick up and they're perceptive when it comes to what those relationships look like, and they see more than you think they do.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I remember situations where my parents were fighting when I was rather young. They might not even realize that I knew or realized what was going on. But you don't have to be too old to know that when you're hearing mommy and daddy screaming at each other and it's not in the bedroom, that's not a good thing. Though at that age, even if it had been in the bedroom, I would have thought it was not a good thing. I didn't know shit.
Yeah, screaming at each other, I think anywhere is probably not the best thing. So when Ms. Beverly Hills turns rat and turns everybody in, and her partner and her baby are given new identities of Bob and Willa and have to move to protect themselves, and they are safe for 15, 16 years. What would you do if you knew you were wanted, if you knew that you were in danger, but so much time has passed? Do you maintain that same level of vigilance and protection, or do you let your guard down after that long?
You let your guard down.
Yeah.
I think you have to. There's only a certain level of vigilance that you can keep up and stay sane, especially where you're in a situation that is extremely unlikely that vigilance is needed. Now, obviously, in this case, it did come back around, but yeah, it's emotionally draining to try to be that vigilant all the time. You certainly have precautions. You have that tunnel. You have...
Yeah, he built a tunnel under the house where if he ever needed to escape, that he had a way out. And sure enough, that came in handy when Lockjaw and his military goonies actually did track him down. And the reason they tracked him down, which is a whole other layer to this film, is Lockjaw wants to join this secret society.
Christmas Adventurers,
which appears to be, I don't know, some sort of upscale KKK white supremacy group that doesn't like the races mixing, and I'm putting that in air quotes here, of, you just don't do that. And Lockjaw, at that point, needs to get rid of the evidence that he ever was with someone who was black and that it produced this daughter.
and he put huge military action into
A personal pet project.
It was. It's not even so much that they were trying to come after Bob or anything. He just wanted to get in his little club.
Yeah, destroy the evidence so he could be in the Christmas Adventurers. I mean, there has to be some sort of backstory there in the writer's room of the Christmas Adventurers.
Christmas Adventurers Club, CAC.
Yeah.
That was...
Well, and it takes you to another, what would you do? What would you do if you wanted to be a member of some group or some job or something where you had to apply and be accepted and there was a whole process, and you realized when they were asking you screening questions that you had to be dishonest because you weren't the perfect ideal candidate because you did have a skeleton or two in your closet? What would you do in those cases? I mean, would you go to the lengths of Lockjaw and trying to close those loops? And
I mean, to the length of Lockjaw, which meant murder? Probably not. I can't imagine what club could offer me membership that for me to get in, I feel like I'd have to murder someone. I just don't.
Yeah, and murder his own daughter because when he did capture her, he did a swab test to make sure that his suspicions were true, and they were. And at that point, he realized, well, gee, I need to get rid of her because I need in the Christmas Adventures. Yes, this is a very strange film at times, folks.
I mean, this had to be some Illuminati type bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, this had to be really, these had to be insanely powerful people.
Yeah. And he realizes, I don't think I can really kill my own daughter. Hey, dude, can you take my daughter somewhere where they can kill her? Because I can't. Of course, he doesn't say my daughter. He says, oh, she's a bad person. But he can't do that, so he is happy to pay someone else to do the dirty deed. Yeah.
And it's near the end of the movie that I started finding various aspects of this to be rather suspicious from a writer's room perspective.
Okay, how so? I mean, it's a strange film kind of overall, but...
Yeah, no, but there were just a lot of things that happened near the end that made me question, what the hell? Like, when the bounty hunter, he dropped her off, sat in his car for a while, then decided that he was going to go back and uncuff her.
Yeah.
And start shooting people,
Well, Lockjaw initially asked him to kill her, and he was like, yeah, no, I don't kill kids, and... he says, but I'll transport her for you. And when he dropped her off and they, tied her wrist to a bench, and I think his conscience got the better of him. And we're like, I've literally delivered this young girl to be killed.
But I mean, he knew that. He had to have known that going in.
He did. But I mean, are you not allowed to change your mind?
You are, but that's a dangerous mind change because...
Well, it is because, unfortunately, he didn't just liberate her. He actually lost his life in the process.
Yeah, he came out with a gun. He knew that he was going to have to kill people to save her or get himself killed. So, and it's not like she was exactly being nice to him. Not that she should be.
Yeah, no, she was abducted and she was fighting for her life. She definitely was not a good little passenger.
Yeah,
But it's a good question in regards to conscience. Is if you are involved in something and your conscience just says, yeah, no, I've participated in something I shouldn't, or I've played a role in this bigger thing and I can't live with that. And I think that's what that character was experiencing. What would you do in that or a similar situation where you feel like, okay, I can do this, and then you start thinking, oh, crap, what did I do? What have I done?
I don't do that. No, I mean,
You just double down on the bad stuff.
I mean, it boils down to this. I'm going to make a decision. Good, bad, or indifferent. Like, I'm going to make a decision. And I'm probably going to stick by that decision.
I mean, it's okay to change your mind. It means you're actually thinking. And
I mean, it could be something where days, weeks, months, years down the road, I look back on it and say, okay, well,
but you
maybe
can't
I made
change anything, though.
Yeah, maybe I made the wrong decision at that point. But like, I'm not that wishy-washy that like I'm going to drop someone off to be murdered and then say within the time period before she's murdered, oh, maybe I shouldn't have dropped her off to be murdered.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting that you think that's wishy-washy other than just having a conscience or a guilty conscience.
But my conscience is going to kick in before then. Like, I'm never going to drop her off to begin with. Like, if
people are motivated by money and then sometimes, or something else, some other bribe.
Well, yeah, but
and then they start thinking about it.
You asked what would I do?
Yeah.
And that's who I am. Like,
You're
either
wishy.
I'm dropping her off or I'm not. And my brain will have thought through all the consequences of both of those before I make a decision. And I'm just going to make a decision because, like, it got to be so much worse going back on it because...
Yeah, because he died.
Yeah, well, he died and he was going to be killing people. Like the decision of his conscience involved several people dying.
Yeah, but they were bad people. The world was a better place with those people dying. I mean, they were sort of murderers for hire or...
They didn't think they were bad people.
Well, yeah. Most bad people don't.
Yeah. So the other things I kind of found a little suspicious, and this is more questioning than anything. One, why did, like, the guy who was, like, poster child for chairman of the polo club decide to roll up next to Lockjaw and bust around in his face?
Well...
I mean, it feels like...
Well, that was part of the clandestine meeting in the house in the bunker or whatever, where the leaders of the Christmas club basically said, hey, we know he has a secret and he lied to us. And he's been with a black woman. Dun, dun, dun.
But so, what was the time-sensitive nature of his death? Why couldn't they have basically done what they did the second time he came back around, where we'll escort you to your office?
Why be troubled with something when you can pay someone to take care of your dirty work?
But he went and did it himself.
Yeah.
Like, he went, found him on the road, rolled down the window, and put a cap in his face.
I mean, why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Because that's a lot.
I mean, if I'm going to hire a murderer, I'd like to think that they're on it.
But he wasn't a hired murderer. He was one of the guys in the club.
I think he was.
Well,
he was brought in to solve a problem.
The white guy with the polo shirt?
Yes, with the Eyes On t-shirt, I'm sure. Eyes
No,
On
he was one of them.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't brought in. He was a member of the club.
Yeah. Like,
if you had hired someone to kill it, sure. But he went and did it himself.
Okay, so are you saying what would you do is you would actually get a trained, maybe I seem pretty trained. He did a pretty good job. I mean, what's your objection here? You're going to hire someone.
I'm just saying it didn't feel like it was a time sensitive thing. Like, there's no harm in letting him survive long enough to get back to you when you could.
They didn't want to be inconvenienced and have to host someone.
Well, they were inconvenienced. They had to go out and find his ass. Well,
no, they weren't. They told some guy to do it, and then they're back, planning their Christmas party.
But they didn't. I don't know what part of this you're missing. He didn't find someone. It was one of the guys from the club who went out and did it himself.
Okay.
So he didn't find someone.
Well, the leadership brought in someone. The leadership of the Christmas club brought in somebody saying, hey, we have this problem. This guy wants to apply. He's a big lying liar who lies.
This guy was already in before they even went to Lockjaw. This guy was already in.
Yes, I understand. But
so he didn't bring him in to kill Lockjaw. No. He was a member.
You're not listening to me. I said leadership brought him into the conversation about what had happened and what they had discovered about Lockjaw and him having been with...
But he was part of leadership.
How do you know? I didn't see any nameplates.
He was in on the conversation.
He was invited into the conversation.
Well, he was brought in, but I think that's just because they were all meeting and all we saw was him being escorted to that room.
So what I'm hearing from you is what would you do is you would not hire from within and you'd get a contract killer that was not part of the Christmas Club.
Okay, you're missing my point.
You're missing
1
my point.
million percent.
You're
my
1,001,000%. You're missing my point.
That's great. There was nothing time sensitive about needing to murder him. It wasn't like he was.
So what would you do?
He wasn't running off to tell somebody something. He wasn't going to do something that was going to ruin the club.
I agree with you. What would you do?
I'd do what they did at the end. Basically, you're accepted. Throw him into a room, fill it with presumably carbon monoxide. And
what kind of office building has a built-in crematory where you just roll the body into the thing and he's gonna be cremated?
Christmas Adventures, clearly.
Yeah.
That's the way I do it. Like, why go out of your way?
They didn't want to be inconvenienced, and
but they didn't.
Okay, you're yelling.
You
you're
keep
yelling.
using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. They inconvenienced themselves to kill it. Where the convenient thing is. Just let him come to you. Put him in an office. Close the door.
They were busy. They didn't want to talk to him again. He was a lying liar who lies.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so let me take this one further.
Yay.
Presumably, even though we didn't... Why did he go after...
He who?
The...
Lockjaw?
Polo guy.
Okay.
Go after the daughter.
He did. He was chasing her in the car.
Why? What did she have to do with it?
She's Lockjaw's daughter.
But Lockjaw's dead. Lockjaw's the one who's applying.
Yeah, he just wants to kill everybody. What's the problem? Why are you so worked up? There's a problem here. He's just taking everybody out. But let the man do his job.
Okay,
so are you getting so worked up
here? I see we're clearly not taking this episode seriously.
I am. I just don't understand why you care so much. It's like he's got a job to do. He's killing off Lockjaw, he's killing off the kid, and then, the loop's closed.
It's not that he had a job to do, it's that he made a decision.
Okay.
That he wanted to...
So what would you do? You decide to just let the girl do whatever she wanted and maybe spread this information that Lockjaw was her dad? Now, granted, why would anybody do that? But she's a loose end. If you're a bad guy, you tie up loose ends.
She's not a loose end because...
You're a loose end.
She knows nothing. Outside of some things...
Well, she knows that Lockjaw's her dad because of the whole blood test.
But she has no connection between Lockjaw and the Christmas Club.
No, she doesn't know the Christmas Club exists.
Exactly. So she's not a loose end. Well, Lockjaw's dead. There's no loose end.
He had bloodlust. I mean, what's your problem?
Well, exactly.
It seems like you're interfering in business that just isn't yours to interfere in.
My point is it didn't make sense.
You don't make sense.
Okay. We are... See, you are in rare form tonight. I kind of feel like the movie we saw was one battle after another, and this podcast is in one battle after another.
I know you are, but what am I?
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.